Hello guys, this is my first review of gaming mouse and video. I've done the previous two mouse reviews on the forum. I usually prefer to do written reviews because I can do better review. I can think about what to say, and this time I decided to do a video. My camera is not the best. It's LG film camera, and I want to talk about why did I buy this mouse. I had first Razer Abyssus from 2010. It had the same sensor, but it had some jittering issues. When I was using mouse on desktop, it was like jittering. Cursor was like shaking a little bit when you do some slow moves. It didn't really make me uncomfortable gaming. I used that Razer Abyssus 3.5G mouse for around 1 year, and it really helped me gaming. People were complaining about that jittering, and there were some new mice of Razer Abyssus 3.5G later released with no jittering or still slight jittering. I'm not sure. I lost tracking about that mouse on forums because it didn't really make a big impact for me in Quake 3. So let's talk about this mouse further on. First impressions. I really liked the first Abyssus shape. I just wanted it to have smooth sides on left and right, like Abyssus 2014. That was actually the main complaint, and also it had high lift-off distance, which is when you lift the mouse, it still keeps tracking, and when you reposition the mouse on mousepad, you get your cursor crosshair moved more than with some other mice, which has low lift-off distance. This Abyssus 2014 still has the same high lift-off distance as older Abyssus, but it's pretty livable. Price was pretty... Mouse was really affordable for me. It was £35. Actually, for this price, you could get some mice with side buttons, maybe some under mouse buttons. Well, what I got for £35, that's pretty alright. And this mouse could be compared with some mice which has ADNS sensor of Avago 3.8. My camera stopped filming first part of the video for some unknown reason. So I was talking about ADMS 3090 sensor. The first part, and it can be compared to this mouse 3888 sensor, which is exclusive for Razer mice. And 3090 also has a high lift-off distance, which can be measured with the height of 3-4 CDs. But you still can adjust with it. I was talking about the price. For this price of Abyssus 2014, you could also find some mice with processor. Let's talk about polling rate, DPI choices. For this sensor and this mouse, I found that most recommended DPI level was 1800, which I chose just after I installed Razer Synapse software. I put polling rate at 5 MHz because with 1000 MHz I get auto shooting in Quake, and 500 is pretty much enough for me with all the mice. To avoid auto shoots with 1 MHz, you can put one command in console, like in slash on the bottom mouse, and put value of -1, and put in slash on the bottom, restart, and press enter, so you can get 1000 MHz working without auto shot with guns. But in mouse value 1 and 500 MHz was very good for me. Max tracking. Let's talk about max tracking. I managed to get 4.9 meter per second with one program, Inautos mouse test. I swiped it as fast as possible on this mousepad of Zowie GTF. I used 5 MHz. Usually 3 meters per second is what most gamers might achieve max in games. I think 5 meters is pretty much enough. I haven't tested max tracking with 1000 MHz. As I saw 5 MHz polling rate gave me all I needed. Talking about lift-off distance again, you cannot reduce it too much. some mice you can put some tape on half of this hole where sensor is visible, and you can reduce it from 4 CDs height to 1-2 CDs height usually. Wheel is pretty smooth, easy to scroll. The top cover of wheel is rubberized. It's pretty quiet, so not that annoying as some other heavy wheels like Logitech G502. What else I didn't talk about? Cable, it's rubberized. Pretty flexible. Doesn't affect your gaming much. Lights. I'm really not into those flashy things on mice. I mostly look for shape, mouse clicks, sensor performance in the mice. Breathing light on this mouse is possible to turn off drivers. But I kept it because it's not that annoying as on the old Abyssus, which had bright light. This light is pulsating, breathing light, and it's really easy to catch mouse when it's in the dark. Dimensions. Dimensions are 100 in length. It's 170 millimeters. For my medium-sized hands, it's right about for my hand. Talking about clicks are very responsive. You don't accidentally hit buttons when you rest fingers so easily as with SteelSeries Kena version 2 mouse, which I sold because I didn't really like hitting accidentally mouse 2, and it wasn't very comfortable while using knife in Counter-Strike and sniper guns. I really got tired of knifing teammates accidentally. And hearing them shouting, "What the fuck are you doing?" So we were talking about length. The width is 64 millimeters, which is also fitting well for my hands. I would prefer probably 70 millimeters or 75, like for Microsoft Intelli Explorer mouse 3.0 version. The height is 38 millimeters. It's the most comfortable 38, 40 millimeters for me. Sensor is pretty smooth, but when I've tried Logitech G502, which has the snappiest sensor in the market, it can be compared with Microsoft mouse sensor. I don't really feel this mouse as snappy. When I'm gaming in some certain maps where we need endless focus on railing and Quake, I really feel that this mouse is losing that snappy feel, and I'm thinking to take Logitech mouse. Where this mouse is really good is for fast gaming. In huge maps, fly fast, in Quake. It's very light, 80 grams without cable. Your hand doesn't get tired. Mouse doesn't feel fragile at all. Doesn't gather dust as previous Razer Abyssus. What they could have left, button switches. One of the switches was for switching DPI level, and another switch was for switching polling rate on the old Abyssus. They really could have left those buttons, was really handy. Talking about side buttons and lack of them. For Quake, it's 3 buttons is very enough. You just go and shoot, and you don't really need those buttons. I would really like to talk about a little bit smooth about this mouse and compare with other mice. So this is my first review. I didn't really prepare for it much, so I don't know. If you have some questions for me about this mouse, just write down below in the comments. I will be looking to answer for them. I don't know. I'll just pop in some game and try some shooting against bots.